What up, what up, what up? We are back. Another bad podcast. Brad and Dwayne. Brad, we're in your hometown, actually. And if you're watching live, this is our second time going live. But if you're watching later, we just had a 5K and a meetup, man. So what else we got going on, Brad?
Man, we're going to talk about leading from the front. We're going to talk about family, community, insulation is what I call it. We're going to talk about all that stuff. We got a special guest today.
Not just one.
A lot
Not
of special guests.
Multiple special guests, man. Make sure you guys tune in to this podcast and share it. If you're watching it live, make sure you share it somewhere. Let somebody know. But let's get into this.
Hey, good job, guys. Good job. Mental battles. Mental battles.
Hey man, eat man for life, baby.
It look like, what it be like, what it do. We right back in here, man. The Bad Podcast, Brad and Dwayne. So this is actually this series of podcasts are my favorite, and y'all will see why in just a minute. Because I'm gonna pass the mic and I'm gonna start eating. We're here, and I'm gonna let these guys chat it up. But Brad, who do we have, man? We're in your neck of the woods, man. So somebody familiar to them, I'm sure.
Yeah, this is a good friend of mine, and we have so many ties, which I didn't really know about until just recently. But we have so many ties, and I'm going to let him introduce himself. Tell us your first and last name. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, my name is Rich Norton. I'm the women's assistant basketball coach at Fredonia State, and I've known about Brad for a long, long time. A good friend of mine, was his teacher and mentor when he first started in the education world. So, and we've just connected, and he's done a great job coming over and talking to our girls basketball team and talking about nutrition and health, and just continues the 7 degrees of separation, right?
Yes, sir. Yep. Yeah, absolutely, man. And that's what they say. If within 7 people, everybody knows somebody, right?
Yeah, and I think it's even smaller with our group. You know, I knew Brad's sister when she played basketball, and I just was telling her, hey, I would have recruited you if I was still at Fredonia State, if I had been at Fredonia State at the point. So, so I've known your family for a long time. So,
yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Hooper. Oh man,
she was a baller. She was a baller.
Yeah. So, Coach, today I want to talk about leading from the front. You know, you have a unique platform where you have a bunch of young women, in your presence from say August all the way until March or so. And I want to talk about the opportunity that you have to inspire, encourage, empower these young women through the platform that you have, through the journey that you've had. You're showing and proving to them that the hard is not actually impossible. It's just hard, right? And I want to talk about your journey.
Absolutely. You know, like 14 months ago, I wouldn't have been doing this. You know, I was 115 pounds heavier. And I wasn't a real good role model.
Hold up. You got to get closer to the mic, and I want that number loud and clear.
Yeah, it's 115 pounds since last January. And,
let's go. Come on now.
As a women's basketball coach, I just didn't feel like I was a role model for those kids. I'm talking about nutrition and, eating the road when we're out, even just in practice, being able to do things and drills. And, I feel like I've turned that clock back. Not that I'm back to 20 years old, but definitely I feel like I picked up a few years and am able to do the things in practice that can demonstrate and work with those kids. And then, speak to them about nutrition and the importance of fueling your body versus just throwing stuff in there.
You took something from my speech when I came in, fueling over filling, right?
Absolutely.
Too many of us like to fill up and not fuel up. But I want to go back to something that you said there. I could see you down there boxing out. I could see you rolling up the layup boy, the twister, all that stuff, right? But it's hard to preach to young women or anybody for that matter if you're not walking the walk, right?
Absolutely.
Hey, everybody follow my lead, but I ain't leading. You eat this, I'm gonna eat that.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so important for these kids, especially when we play back-to-back nights, to be able to eat nutritious food so that they can feel they got to turn around and play in 7-8 hours, and and when they look at me like, are you telling me I need to fuel my body, but look at what you're doing. So definitely needed to make the change. That was one of my whys, no doubt about it. And I have young grandchildren, 2 young girls, and I want to be a role model for them. I want to walk them down the aisle someday and I figured, if I didn't make changes, that might not happen.
Yeah. Yeah. And okay, so you have two different platforms, and the one that we talk about more times than not is a pack of guys that you hit the links with. You got there and smack the ball around, and just the opportunity that you have to be around those guys and show them the way. I want to talk about a little bit of your golf game. I want to talk about how you're able to just get out there and walk. I know a lot of 20-year-olds, they ain't out there walking 9 holes. But you're leading on a whole different, a whole nother platform in the golf world.
Yeah, I kind of set that for a goal. I wanted to walk and push my golf clubs, and my golf course is kind of hilly, and in the year there's a lot of mud, and I was able to trudge through that and push my golf clubs, and feels great. It's a much better golf game when I'm out there walking and playing. And two of my buddies, two of my partners, were inspired to join E2M, and together the 50-pound. Golf. The other guy, he is ripped. And so he told me a story. He said, we went to a beach this summer with my wife, and she looked at me and said, damn, I haven't seen you look that good since college. So he was so excited to tell me that story. So
that's awesome. It's incredible if you PR by a minute. You did a 5K today, this morning, here in Lakewood, New York. All right, raise the bar, be the bar. You already raised the bar, and you're becoming that bar. Talk about your PR and tell us. You tell the number. Come on.
Well, I had a lot of help. There's a couple of young ladies sitting here from Michigan that were pushing me the last lap, but
let's go, Michigan.
Yeah, they were really helping. Coach Ginley ran a lap with me, so yeah, I was able to PR by 8 minutes.
8 minutes. Let's go. Hey, and you did that.
Yeah,
you did that.
Well, you one of your shows, one of your treadmill workouts, you said you can do it if you set your mind to it, and I'm happy with that. And 8 minutes, but moving forward, keep it rolling.
Yeah. Well, hey, Coach, we appreciate you coming on to the podcast, and we will do this again. I'm certain of it.
Absolutely. Thanks, man.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Super proud of you, Coach. I got to get back to Carrie playing basketball. So nobody told me. Nobody told me Carrie ball. Took out to the courts.
Carrie was she's the number 3. I think the number 3 on the scoring list at the community college locally. Yeah, she big time.
Who's next?
Who's coming up next? Come on.
Come on to the stage.
Yeah.
Come on to the stage. So we're gonna do, like I said, quite a few different interviews, and I'm going to say, hey, how you doing? Good. I'm gonna give you the mic so they can hear you, but I'm gonna let you introduce yourself and just tell us a little bit about your fitness journey.
Okay. So my name is Jan. On the Facebook page, Jan Yurkovich Stewart. I am just getting ready to finish my 12th round, so coming up on my 2-year anniversary, and I just started because like everybody else, I wanted to lose weight. I mean, plain and simple, wanted to lose weight. And about 3 weeks in, and I'll try not to cry, I knew my life was changed forever. I mean, and I tell people, I feel like, honestly, I was waiting for this my entire life. I'm in the best shape I've ever been in. And it's just, I'm pound wise, I'm down 50 plus ish pounds, but labs, fantastic. And just pushing myself physically in ways I never.
Carry on, or
Yep, keep rolling.
Jan, Well, first and foremost, I'm a big softie, so I wear sunglasses for a reason. A lot of people are like, man, that guy likes to style it out, right? It ain't nothing about style. Tears are starting to build, the water, all this stuff. So don't carry down that path. Man, I want to talk about longevity today. I want to talk about the long haul because a lot of people will see E2M as an 8-week challenge, and what they do is they go all in. They're hard in the paint for 8 weeks. And then they make that decision at the end of the 8 weeks. Every day is down to micro decisions, right? Thousands of micro decisions. Absolutely. But at the end of that 8 weeks, they make a decision to go back to the old ways, which is really frustrating for us coaches because you find something that works, and then you talk about you've waited your whole life for this, right?
Yeah.
That's not a few. There are 210,000 people in our group, and say 150,000 of those people are in the same shoes as you. But the masses, they decide, I'm gonna go back to the old way because number one, it's probably easier.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
How are you able to come back round after round and continue to raise the bar like you have?
I just know, and I'll joke and say the old me, the old me would have, I looked for the quick fixes too. I mean, I feel like that's what we're trained to do. How fast can you do it? And I came in and I, learned after that first round. I mean, really, like I said, a few weeks even, but just how good I felt, how mentally much better I felt, and of course, physically, how much better I felt. And I don't want to ever feel like I felt before. Like I remember, not being able to bend over comfortably and tie my shoes. I would have never been able to run across the parking lot, let alone around the parking lot. Yeah. So that's what brings me back. Like I just don't ever want to have that feeling again. And I love the feeling of the camaraderie and the friendships I make, and that's what just keeps pulling me back. Because as long as, like Jeff says, as long as we can keep going, I don't want to think about a time when I'm not involved in E2M. Yeah. I think Dr. Carolyn said lifestyle for a lifetime. Yeah. I mean, that's all in as long as we keep going. Yeah.
You said something about mental strength or, the mental clarity, and little known fact for anybody that doesn't know this, your mental health, your gut health. And I don't know, a lot of people don't know that.
Mind gut connection.
Yeah. And, it's crazy because the fasting component, a lot of people think that's 100% tied into the weight loss, and it's not. When you fast, it's your body, it's your body taking that rest. Is our body is always working. Our digestive system is always working because you go to bed, you have a sandwich right before bed, you wake up, you have breakfast, and somebody said to me one time, well, breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and it is. But breakfast is also short for breaking your fast. Right. You can break your fast at 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning, 10 in the morning, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. And you talk about that mental health, and that is one of the biggest components of fitness and health and wellness is that mental piece. And we're just on the other side of Mental Health Awareness Month, month of May. And what an important thing that we talk about. But I want to talk about the 5K today. Yeah, I want to talk about your efforts in the 5K today. Yeah. How do we do?
This is my first timed 5K. So I've done the virtuals, I've done a turkey trot, but this is my first official timed, and I came in under 34. It was 33 something. So I ran one whole lap without stopping. Yep. So took a couple little walking breaks, but again, it's that I will, that no, I was a kid with the side stitch.
Yeah, I love it. Hey, put it together. Come on.
So and honestly, when I came today, I thought I'm just going to run like I normally, when I try, I'll run to that stop sign. Yep. And my friend Allie, who came with me today, she's like, just keep coming, keep going. We can do this and you can do it. So I just kept breathing and I'm like Forrest Gump. I just kept running. I just kept doing it. Yeah. And then I took, after that first lap, I'm like, all right, I need a break for a second. Yeah. But honest to goodness, mental battles kept coming up in my mind. I'm like, this is a mental battle and I can do this. Yeah. So just keep going.
And there's a reason that I brought up mental toughness and mental health today it's because when you run or you're in the fitness game or you're in life, more times than not, and I feel bad because the camera's over here, I got it back. you know, I feel bad. But anyways, it all starts with what's between your own 2 ears. And more times than not, if you're doing something hard, your mind will say, I can't, I can't,
Yeah.
I can't, until you pivot. You know, I said it in my speech, until you're the catalyst. You have to be your own personal catalyst that says, I stop. I can't be stopped. Maybe I can. Maybe I can. I can. I think I can. I will. I did that.
Yeah.
And that's where you're at today.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about the dreamers dreaming, baby, because I said that in my speech this morning too. Like 99% of people literally stayed home dreaming the great dream.
Yeah.
While the 1% were here, you had a dream to run a lap. You had a dream to lose 50 pounds. You had one day you were the dreamer, dreaming the great dream. Today you weren't dreaming the great dream. Today you were running down the great dream. Today you were chasing that greatness. And here, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna drop one on you. Today you left evidence that excellence can be achieved. You left evidence, and that's what life's all about, is leaving evidence that you can do those hard things. Because in 3 months, when your mind says you can't do that, wait, bet. I was in Lakewood, New York, and I left evidence in Lakewood, New York that I can do the hard thing. So just incredible.
Thank you.
Do you want to say anything to the camera? Or what do you,
my gosh.
Come on now.
I mean, I have volumes I could say, but a little shout out to my sister-in-law, Kelly Stewart, who couldn't be here today, but she brought me in. Thank you a bazillion times over for bringing me to this point. For Allie for coming with me today, and
thank you, Allie.
For all of you in this wonderful team, all of you coaches, because you were just absolutely fabulous, and this program is better than anything I could have ever dreamed.
Well, you are locked in, family forever. Put your hands together, guys.
E2M for life.
Thank you. Who's next? Who's next? The DJ is in the building. You got a lot to say?
Yeah, I'm excited.
All right, here we go.
Hey, tell us your first and last name. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So my name's Campbell Dawson. I got to tell you, I'm a party catalyst. DJ's part of it, but my favorite thing to do is to take an adult party, whatever kind of party you got going on, and they say there's a lot of love in a lot of rooms, a lot of wedding receptions, even a celebration of life. People are feeling feelings, but man, is this exciting. And I've been waiting to work with your team for so long. And I'm like, woo, like today was the day. And, people talk about their goals and meeting their goals and like being excited about having the goal and reaching it. And I see that's what you're talking about here on your podcast. And today was that day for me in one capacity, and that was to feel the feels that you guys put out and be a part of the team. So that was real exciting. Like I wish I could hang out all day. I got another event to do, but guess what? You know what? I just loved it. I felt it all day.
Well,
long.
Little known fact, I've known Campbell for a minute. I've known Campbell for a long time. He was good friends with my wife before I even knew who he was. But the moment I met Campbell, he talks about that energy being contagious, and that's a component of our community, because fitness is hard. It's hard, and if you have a bunch of anybody Nancy here, you got negative Nancy's in your corner, negative Neds in your corner. It's hard to do those hard things, but when you get around people, with that tip top energy or that tip top motivation, or they're just trying to inspire and encourage and empower you, like that's how you continue on. And I want to talk about energy today, Campbell, because you're a guy that brings the big boy energy. I mean, I've seen all your Facebook posts. I've heard you on the radio. This guy's I mean, you call me famous. This guy is like hometown crazy famous. And I want to talk about your energy levels, because I've seen you at parties, man, and you can take a party that's kind of melancholy and turn that sucker around. How do you do it? Just be yourself.
Well, the truth is, I'm real spiritual, and and I do a lot of studying about all the stuff that might not necessarily be mainstream. And in all my studying, everybody tries to simplify, and all the good vibration feelings, strength, smarts. It's all love. If you lead with love and follow your true intention, then guess what? The universe isn't going to deny you. And both E2M and everything that you stand for, E2R, all of that ties back. And if you look deep into anything as far as motivation goes, bam, love is the answer. Love, and I know it sounds a little sappy, and it's not like very dude-ish or bro-ish or guy-ish, or like
I'm not dude-ish, bro-ish, or any guys.
you know what I'm saying?
I
but
love the love.
It's not, it's real. It's so real. Like if you're having the best time ever, you're like, wow, I'm feeling, and I don't know how to tie it into anything but that, because that's where it all funnels down to. You know what I'm saying?
I want to talk about something, Campbell, because I knew you in the old days. All right, and
soup.
Camp soup, man, camp soup. But man, we used to run in similar packs, right? I mean, we'd be at down at the Village Casino until 2, 3, 4 in the morning, right?
Yep.
And a lot of people chase those temporary highs, right? I mean, the masses chase temporary highs. Why? We want to feel good in the moment. Why? We want to laugh. And you talk about that love, like we want that immediate plug of love, right?
Big time.
That's not how love is obtained. Love is obtained. Energy is obtained. Greatness is obtained by looking at the long game, right? And I want to talk about that for a second, because those temporary highs, man, they're tricky. They're tricky. And I know where you come from, and I know where you're at today. And I know you've done a lot of growing in your life, right? I know you've done a lot of growing. Big time. And I know we got to wrap this up in a minute, but I want to talk about that for a second. How did you get out of your own way? How did you pivot in life and say, I don't want that anymore. I want this for me?
It was all a natural segue. You know what? There wasn't a ton of effort, I don't think, on my part. And that's part of choosing the path. Like sometimes there's a lot of resistance, but not usually if it's true to your heart and true to your soul, well, I have this problem and I was a bad person. No, I had a blast then too, whatever. But guess what? I'm trying to be as good to myself in the second half of my life as I was not so much the first half. And if it feels good and you follow it, and you, like you said, you can do it and you do it, why not do more things that make you feel good? And when the poison or the bad things or the chasing the fast feel good doesn't feel good anymore, there's a time in your life when somebody, the angel on your shoulder, your inner self, your higher self, whatever you want to call it, Jesus, Buddha, whenever, they're going to say something to you and you can feel it. You know what I mean?
A lot of people call that Uncle Bradley.
Yeah, Uncle Brad, that's right. I don't know, it's feeling the internal nudges and following that intention.
Well, you go back to your roots, man. I will wrap this up here, but you go back to your internal roots, and you just look at the things that you value. And I ask myself often, do you truly value this, or do you value that specific moment? And I ask myself that all the time. So like when I go out with my buddies, do I truly value this, what I'm putting in my body, or do I just value this exact moment? And a lot of us will look at those one moments and we'll decide to ourselves, I'm going to put this into me because it's going to feel so good. And that's, man, I ain't gonna dive deep on this, but that's how people cheat, and that's how people cut corners in life, and that's how people lose jobs and find themselves in situations and circumstances in life that, man, it's hard to pull yourself out of, because they chase that individual single in the moment instead of thinking, do I really truly value this? And what 369 rule, ladies, what will this do for me in 369 days, 369 months, 369 years?
Big time. And you can flip that to anything, like changing your conversation with food. You can learn to like something because of how good it is for you and how nutritional it is, how nutritious it is for you, and how good it's going to be for your body, just as much as how good it tastes.
Yeah.
And your mind will listen to anything you tell it. You know what I mean? And always, I'm sure you've talked about this several times on your podcast. Whether you say you can or you can't, in most situations, you're right. And guess what? We are can doers.
We can do it.
Yeah,
baby.
it's exciting,
Hey,
right?
that's a good segue to finish this up, man. Hey, where can anybody follow you on social media?
Yeah, find me on Facebook. I'm Campbell Dawson. I don't have a huge, multi-scaled social media stratosphere, but I am on Facebook and Instagram. And there's only one other Campbell Dawson in the world, and I think she's 20 something and lives in California. That one isn't me.
Hey, man, appreciate you, brother.
Yeah,
Appreciate you, boss. Good stuff, man. Yep. One more, two more, three more, four more. Fear of missing out. Who's next to the stage? Bradley's bringing out the guns on this next one. Get ready. Get ready for the gun show. Get ready for the gun show. All right, man.
Hey,
we makeshifting it, man. We makeshifting it.
I like it.
Todd is leaving.
Guys out.
Todd, safe travels to my brother. All right, man. Who do we have here? Well, what's your name? Tell us your name and talk about your fitness journey.
Hi, my name is Jayla Haskins, and I've been a member of E2M since January of 2022. I didn't start taking the journey seriously until about November of 2022. And since then, I've lost 70 pounds.
Hello, 70 pounds.
And this is my second 5K that I ran today, but it's my first official in person because the first one was virtual. So I'm excited.
All right. So in anything that we do in life, we have those aha moments. You were in E2M. You were kind of in E2M. Then you had the aha moment or that pivot or whatever you want to call it, the spark. It says, I have to be all in, or I want to be all in. What was that spark? What was that aha moment for you?
My kids. I'm a mom of 3 kids. I'm actually 41, and I realized that I wanted to be there for them, and I wanted to keep up with them. As I said, and I was like looking. I love my family. I love my in-laws, but I recognize like most of my in-laws, they didn't make it past 70. And I was like, I want to enjoy my children. I want to enjoy my children's children. And I don't want to get to that point where I don't get to see that. I want to see my kids graduate. I want to see my kids' graduate. So it's like, I don't want to be that person. So I want to be fit. I want to be with them, and I want to celebrate their wins too.
Yeah. And absolutely amazing. And what happens too often is we wait too long. We delay. And then we get that emergency phone call, right? And a lot of people that we know personally or through the grapevine has had that emergency phone call. And I have a terribly sad story, but I got to tell this. And I don't even know if Dwayne knows this, but years ago, there was this woman, and she kept trying to get her mom to join. Mom, please join. You need to make a change. You need to make a change. You need to make a change. And she finally signed up. She passed away the next day. And it was a morbid story, sad story. And I don't ever like to, my greatest fear in life is to look back at yesterday and just say, what if, right? You can always look back and say, what if? This woman tried to convince her mom to join for at least bare minimum 3 rounds. I remember like it was yesterday, minimum 3 rounds the day after she signed up. And you can always look at the what ifs, right? And, that's where you kind of found yourself, leading for your kids. And we all have a why. We all have a why. Your kids are your why. My kids are my why. Like we all have a why. And I want to talk about, that environment we talk about so often. You got your in-laws, and, they showed you sort of what not to do, right? And that's important because there's a lot of people in our circle that will show you what to do. But I want to talk about the importance of looking at people and using their journeys and say, I can't do that. I can't be that. I want to talk about that real quick. And how did you use that for fuel to get you where you're at today?
Pretty much just, I just had to, like I said, just what not to do.
Yeah.
And pretty much being an example and pretty much stepping out of the boundaries, because everybody's like, oh, you're not doing what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And when I did that, actually, like, some of the relatives started seeing, oh, you're not eating what we're eating.
Yeah.
And some of them actually went out of their way to accommodate. I mean, I didn't have to make a fuss or anything like that. I come to a family event and there's actually salads or grilled chicken and actually done. So it was just, oh, there. Sometimes I talk too loud. So that was actually interesting. Not today. So it's actually interesting just being that example and just doing it, and never realized that people were actually watching what I'm doing, and then they see it, and then they just came along.
Yeah.
So that's all I could do.
Yeah. I love this, and I love where we're going with this conversation, because every single class I tell everybody to throw up a post. Just throw up a post saying, I did X, Y, and Z. And I receive messages often that say, I don't have the same platform that you do, Brad. I don't have followers like you do, Brad. I don't have the eyes on me. And I promise you, I don't care who you are. I promise you, somebody is watching your journey, whether it's your kids, whether it's your buddies, whether it's your coworkers. Somebody always has eyes on you. And oftentimes what happens is they're waiting for you to slip up. They want you to slip up because they're watching you slip up. Hey, that gives me an easy way out, right? That gives me an easy way out. And I just love that you did it for you. I mean, the grand scheme, you did it for your kids, but you did it for you. And you never had to, man, that's tough, because you never had to say anything to your friends to accommodate you, your family to accommodate you. And most of the time, at least here in my hometown, shout out 716, love you to death. But if you go to a party and say, I ain't rolling like that, I ain't gonna drink my 4 whatevers, and I don't want to eat this and I don't want to eat that, like, you're gonna get harassed. You're gonna get, oh man, you're on that diet again. No, I just really want to take care of myself, and I want to take care of myself for my kids, But I love that you're doing it for you. I love that you're doing it for your kids. Is there anything you want to say to wrap this thing up?
Thank you for everything. I've actually been I was following the podcast since day one, and so grateful for it.
Shout out, let's go.
Yeah, and I'm very appreciative of the community and of the group, and just everybody, and just this actually just more motivation to keep moving forward, especially this meetup. So it's my first one, and just
the first one.
Keep going. So I'm grateful.
I love it. Thank you so much for being on.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, who's next? Next to the stage. Let's go. All right. Hello. So, like we do with everybody else, tell us your name.
Best friend started, and I said, you can't do this without me. And that was probably the best decision I've ever made.
Sorry about that. A little technical difficulty on our side. We're talking about long drives and community and not knowing what you don't know, right? And so when you found, let's just back up. How did you discover E2M?
My best friend started, and I couldn't let her do it without me.
Did she do a round before you, or you guys started at the same time?
No, we started at the same time.
Mhm.
I needed the weekend to think about it because
Mhm.
it was a holiday.
Ah.
So I had family things going on, and I said, I will start with you on Monday.
Yeah.
So I think I was week 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was just determined from there. And
Oh,
we
man.
stuck it out for the 8 weeks.
Yeah.
And we did it, and we seen amazing results.
Yeah.
And then you just keep going. And at that point, it's entertaining.
Yeah.
And then people
Yeah.
start noticing. And then now I've learned that I love being a motivator for everybody else.
Yep.
And they ask you questions, and you just have positive things to talk about all the time.
Yeah. All right. So, you back up. We talked about how we got into E2M. It took you 2 weeks to get rocking and rolling. And now you've been here for how many rounds?
For 6 rounds.
6
Yeah,
rounds.
so we're coming up on a year anniversary.
Hey, how about it? Can we hear it? Come on now. Absolutely incredible. You what? Good. Yeah, okay, so you're from Northern Michigan.
I am.
All right. I mean, I just lost my mojo. Hey, focus. Yeah. So, is there a large following from Northern Michigan?
It's a small community in general, so there's not a lot of people around, but we are making a large following. And we have probably told at least 25 people. This round alone, we had 5 join with us. And so now we have all of our little friend groups, and now so much more of us talk to each other. We may all be at our own homes doing this on our own schedule, but we can all know that we're all doing it.
Accountability. I want to talk about empowerment. I want to talk about confidence and courage. It takes some confidence to drive 8 hours, right? Were you always confident?
I was always ready to go.
Yeah.
Looking for
Always.
something to do, an adventure.
Uh-huh.
We seen that list and we're like, what is the closest one we can go to? That's an 8-hour drive. We will be there by the afternoon.
Yeah. Were you confident before E2M? You always have that kind of confidence?
Probably
I mean, you're
not,
up here like a
no.
rock star right now. Like, this is no big deal. Come on. Yeah, this is your first
I've always
podcast?
been in front of people
Oh.
in the service industry and helping people, and now I own my own business. So you've
About
gotta
it.
be in
Hey,
front
put
of
your hands
people.
together, own business. There's a lot of business owners out there. That's incredible. Is there anything that you'd like to say to somebody that may be on the cusp, but on the fence, and they're just like, I should, but I don't know. I want to, but maybe next round or maybe Monday. There's a lot of
Yes.
Monday warriors out there.
I
Next
have a
round
lot of
warriors.
people that I've
Can
been
you say
working
something?
on. A lot of people I've been working on. Some family members that I just want them to prioritize their health. And the simplest thing is you can do it. You just have to do it. It's so simple. You just have to do it.
Yeah. And a lot of people confuse simple and easy, right?
Yes. Oh, I complain the whole time, you guys.
It ain't easy. Simple, yes. Easy, no. And that's where people get confused because they'll hear somebody say it's simple. It ain't simple for me. It is simple for you. It's just not easy. And we take that path of least resistance, and so when you say simple, I love to hear that because it is simple. It is black and white. It is do these things
Yes.
and you will look like that. And people like to deviate from the program and they still expect those same results. It's
Mhm.
not reality, and I get frustrated. Dwayne and I are in the fitness industry. Like, we see these influencers, these fitfluencers, and they ain't doing it the right way. I'll just say that. They're taking that easier way. I mean, it's still not easy though, right? Yeah, it's still hard. You still got to put in the moves. You still got to do the work. And at the end of the day, simple, yes. Easy. HE double hockey sticks. No. Thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
on.
Appreciate it.
Woo! Thank you. All right, who's next? Before we wrap this show up, who's next? We're good. All right, we get ready to close out then. Hey man, don't make nobody, man. You ready to eat your sandwich? Oh, Brent coming? I think Brent needs his own segment.
I think Brent needs his own podcast.
That too. Where you going, man? Brent needs his own segment.
I could go for like 3 hours.
We know. We are familiar. But I'm actually nervous to hand you the mic at this moment.
You see
Like, I got- what time my flight leave?
leave?
Look, what time my flight leave? I gotta. Hey, y'all buckle up. We got now. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good. So all right, we're gonna pass the mic to Brent. For those that don't know him, let him introduce himself. But I will say this, I will give him some flowers, man. Since Brent has been on the team, it has been a lot of headache. I'm just kidding. No, no, man.
I paid him to say that.
Right. No, man. No, real talk, man. We had this event. That is one of many roles that Brent have, and I can honestly say, since you got the rings, brother, everything's been fabulous. Planning,
Come on, put your hands together.
the event itself, just getting it all together, and because I know what goes into it, and so I just want to give you all that, man, and you definitely need your own segment. Like, we're gonna bring you back for all of that, but all right, man. For those that don't know, here's the guy, Brent. This is the guy you send all your emails and inbox messages to when you don't like something. So here you go.
Hey, tell us your first and last name. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Brent Robb, Director of Development for E2R and E2M. And, like I said, I just, like, thing going on. A little exhausted from today, so I won't do so. But I'm just proud to be part of today and everything that we do, and to help clients and to just add value where I can. And it's just, complete dream come true.
So my guy here, this is my right hand. All right. And I couldn't do anything that I do without my right hand. And I'm not even going to talk about that right now. We'll get into that again. I think we're going to need our own podcast. But I want to talk about your journey, because a lot of people will look at the Cliffs, they'll look at the Rebeccas, they'll look at the Lindsays, and they'll say, "Wow, I want to be that runner," right? Because those runners have crossed the finish line in a really good time. But I want to talk about your trials and tribulations, and I want to talk about that mindset, because this guy, I'm telling you right now, this guy has done something harder than I've ever done. His legs. I watched this firsthand. We did a Tough Mudder in December down in Florida. I watched it firsthand. His muscle was as hard as any rock that I ever saw, but he never stopped, never gave in, never gave up. And that's the mental strength that this guy has. But I want to talk about the mental strength component, Brent, and I want to know, how the heck do you push through something like that?
Yeah, I mean, so I was never a runner, ever. And with running, it's been where I've always put so much pressure on that next time, that next race, that, like, those goals. And, with the challenges that I've had with the dehydration and the cramping, it has trained me to just get back to work, evaluate, what I was doing, and stop focusing on the number, and just be proud to be running. Look at the big picture, and like the coach that I work with says, like, if you look at the running journey over the next 10, 20, 30 years, the next race isn't that important. Yeah. So, so I just continue to work and just continue to look at opportunities to fuel and things like that. So.
You did something there. Always listen, always trying to, spark really to fit some set scores and finish lines, something like that. Scoreboards are something that we all watch, right? We all want to look at the scale. We all want to watch. We all score, but that's professional sports. That's collegiate sports. That's high school sport. That's sports, right? Life ain't about the scoreboard. Life ain't about the finish line or your best time. Is it great to PR every run? Yeah. Is it realistic? No, not really. That's life. You're not going to PR every single day. But we promote something through E2M. And it's called the all or something mentality, right? And a lot of people, man, Brent and I grew up in an era. It was all or nothing, right? Everybody would tell you all or nothing out there. Hey, you can't run. You go on the sideline and squirt water, whatever,
Absolutely.
And just we've shifted our mindset, because that's not life. That's not fitness. That's not running. It's all or something. And I want to talk about one specific run, man. And this is crazy to me. You tell the story about the race that I don't remember what the bill is and everything, but you found yourself laying next to the car and this, that. Oh, yeah. Again, you were able to scrape yourself up off the ground and come back. I would retire. So tell about the race.
Long story short, and I sang pretty much the race, and we got done after because of the amount of hydrate that I had, fluids I had lost. I started to get sick. So not only I had cramping, but I get back to the hotel and I'm get out of my car, and I completely drenched from sweat, and every single muscle in my lower body cramped up. So I'm shirtless in a parking spot in the middle of Georgia, and I couldn't get relief. And then when I finally was able to get up to the hotel room, I started getting nauseous, and it was my kidneys were breaking down, cramping. So, beyond like, it's time to go to the hospital. So go to the hospital, 4 bags of fluid, some Zofran later. You know, I was signing up for my next race that morning. She's like, "Will you just go to bed? Will you just go to bed?"
I would have quit. I ain't gonna lie.
She's like, it was amazing with 4 bags of fluid, because I literally was looking at my next half marathon because I'm ready to go. That's just been the challenge. Like you mentioned something, Brad, and it's what my coach like literally always preaches. He's like, I want you to develop into a lifelong runner that loves running. And if you constantly focus on that tomorrow number you did not hit, won't run. So that's I'm not there. Like it's a challenge, but that's what we're really working on, is to love that sport, because it's not a sport that I grew up loving. So
I love your story, because like Dwayne said, I would be retired after something like that. I would definitely retire. And I do want to jump into our relationship, and people see the final product, and this ties directly into fitness, because what happens a lot of times is we see somebody's before and after picture, and we see that final product. We don't see the trial and tribulation. We don't see the tension. We don't see the ebbs and flows and the peaks and the valleys. We don't see any of that. We see the final product. So everybody that sees the final product today, it wasn't me and Brent texting back and forth a couple of times. It was me and Brent texting each other at 2 a.m, calling each other at midnight, calling each other at 5 a.m, and emotions pouring to these things. And, it is ebbs and flows. And, when you talk about team, you talk about support, you got to have the right people in your corner, and we talked about this just a little bit ago, you have to have the right people in your corner, because, when times get tough, if you don't have the right people in the corner, guess what? They're about to bail on you. And, there's 2 types of people in this world, those that cage you and those that let you soar. And I think that was Greg that said that. There's 2 people that cage you or let you soar. And this is a guy that's allowed me to soar, and I try to do my best to let him soar. And the thing is there's too many people in this life that don't want to be surpassed. Your best friend, your spouse, your coworkers, they don't want to be passed by. And this is a guy that's always looking to put somebody ahead of him. He don't need to be in the spotlight. He don't need to be the guy in front of all the attention. He wants everybody else to win. And the reason that Eager to Run is doing so well right now, the reason that we are where we're at right now, is because of this guy right here.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Like I said, all I want to do is pass the credit back and give credit to everybody else. And so it's a dream come true to be here, to be part of this process, to see the success today, to see the clients happy, to just bring the community together, to be part of it all is just a dream come true. So yeah.
Dream come true is something that I put in my speech every single race, because this is literally our dream come true. Every single morning that we are able to put on a race and we're able to put on a successful meetup and nobody's getting hurt, and we're inspiring those little kids to go out there and run. All right, we might get a little misty here, but so I had several of my thank you. I had several of my former students here today, and to see, to see them cross the finish line, and just to have a role, make an impact on those little people. I lost it probably 3 or 4 times today. And none of that happens without the intricate details that go into each and every plan, each and every phase of all these meetups. Like New Jersey is still a month and a half away. Guess what? We got damn near the whole thing planned out right now. Nothing's planned. The entire thing is planned, but nothing is planned. And when we get to July 19th, we'll be making the final call saying that tent can't go there. It's got to go 6 inches to the left. The finish can't be there. It's got to be 3 feet back.
We probably should weigh it down.
And we should probably tie it down a couple more times. Runaway 10, man. And that's you plan. This is going to be one of those fitness life things. You can plan to a T, right? Without proper action, that plan means nothing. We didn't plan for that nasty wind, right? That was something that's one of those uncontrollables. that's the uncontrollables in life, and that's the uncontrollable with today. But still a phenomenal meetup. Hey, come over here real quick. Get in here. Get in the right front center. Right front and center. And here's the better half. And real quick,
much better.
Do you want to?
Much better.
Do you want to start, or you want me to start?
I'm not singing again. I'm not singing.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Alicia. Happy birthday to you. All right. Hey.
Yeah. So
this is Brent's better half. She snubbed me yesterday, but no big deal.
Much better half.
But
So-
you know, this is support. Yeah. You know, and Brent couldn't do it without her, and we couldn't do it without her, and I think she could do it without us, but that's a story for another day.
I will say this with Alicia here right now, the best moment of today. So I'm as transparent as I get. I'm an open book. I started E2M right after the passing of my mother. I was looking for something different. I needed that purpose again, that foundation again. And I share that just briefly because today, for the first time, Alicia completed a 5K, not first up, but she completed a 5K with her mom and her dad. And that's the first time that's ever happened. And just knowing and seeing that moment from my perspective, who does not have mom and dad anymore. And I had two of the best. So this is not a woe is me, but just I missed that moment. And to see her have that moment today is something that will forever stick with me. And it was a beautiful thing. And I just, that's what this community is about. It's bringing those stories together, just touching lives. It's just so good.
It's powerful, guys. So spread the word, please. I mean, first time 5K finishers today, and it wouldn't have started without you guys joining this community 3 years ago. So appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. This whole family community, you guys are amazing. So, D. Yachty.